I have tremendous respect for my opponent. I don't agree with her on many things. Well, there are many things I don't agree with her on. So I guess the more accurate way of saying it. I would hope that people in this district will vote for me quite simply because they find that my views on things are more in line with theirs, and that they believe that the values that I have are more in line with their values. Now, we've had only a brief opportunity tonight to go into what our values and positions are. And it's my job to make it around to another, 15,000 doors, which isn't going to happen. But I'll get word out on how you can look up online where I stand on things.
Again, thank you to the organizers for the opportunity to come out tonight to answer questions and concerns. With the support of the voters, I will continue to fight for common sense priorities, making fiscally responsible decisions on budgets affecting rural schools and our towns and cities, strengthening infrastructure and our roads, supporting broadband expansion, making it easier for small businesses to thrive and create jobs, protecting our elderly and advocating for veterans, ensuring rural areas such as ours continue to have access to affordable quality health care, supporting our law enforcement and solutions to the rising drug epidemic, and finishing what we started on the Indian Claims Settlement Act. As a community leader, I would be honored to continue working in Augusta for the citizens of Washington County and the 16 communities of eastern Hancock County. I encourage everyone to get out and vote either early or on November the 8th. Thank you.
I'm going to stay sitting down. I'm new to politics. I never thought I'd be involved in politics. But I have been a businessman for 50 years, my wife and I, together growing a very successful business. And I think you need business people in Augusta that understand what it's like to wonder where paychecks come from on Friday when the state of Maine doesn't pay you for your main care benefits, that for services that you've already provided. You know, we need business people in Augusta. We need to get the career politicians out of Augusta. You know, there's those that have been in there for many, many years, and you know, it's time to move on and make room for me to get in there and make the changes necessary to move us forward.
Well, I'm going to stand. I am not a career politician, although I've been there for a while. I think the biggest thing that I really like to do as a state representative is work with and talk to my constituents, those people I represent. When I've been doing doors, I've gotten a lot of ideas, and I've also been able to find and create some solutions for issues my constituents have. For me, it's not just about what happens with laws and legislations. It's also being able to listen and work with and find solutions for those people that I represent as well. And I don't care what party you're in. That also helps me be a better legislator as a result. As a nurse practitioner, I worked with people and helped them with their problems, health problems, sometimes social problems, and all of that. I want to continue to do that for those people in the district that I represent. Thank you.
Once again, I am Billy Bob Falkingham. I am a husband, a father, and a fisherman. I have a proven track record, as I said in my opening. I am the only federally licensed lobster fisherman in the legislature, and I am going to go to Augusta to fight for issues that people care about, supporting educators, supporting law enforcement, supporting our fishing industry, supporting civil liberties, worrying about your heat bill, your grocery bill, and your electric bill. And these are issues that can be solved in the legislature with common sense solutions. We need to bring more hydro into the state of Maine, less covering up our blueberry fields with solar panels, and there's real work that we can do in Augusta that will help your heating bills, electric bills, and grocery bills, and that's what I'm going to go to Augusta to work on.
When I've gone door to door this summer, people will ask me what my platform is, and I only half jokingly tell them I'm running an anti-platform. I'm not running on specific issues. I'm running on the idea that every issue has to be looked at on its own merits, what it does for people, what it does to people. And, you know, this area, the reason I stuck around when I had the opportunity to go find, frankly, much higher paying jobs elsewhere is because this community gave so much to me when I was growing up. I have truly enjoyed my service on the school board. It hasn't always been glorious. It hasn't always been simple and easy, but I've enjoyed it, and it really created a strong desire for me to continue to give back to my communities. That's why I accepted and am now a board of directors for the Maine School Boards Association for Hancock County, and that's why I started the Sumner Alumni Association. So I would love the opportunity to go to Augusta to continue to try and help keep this a good place for us to live and for generations to come. Thank you.
I listen to people, and I think I have a pretty good knack for hearing good ideas wherever they come from and trying to blend those ideas to solve problems. I appreciate the thoughts of all these folks up here, and I've heard a lot of good ideas here. There are good people here, clearly. It surprised me when I started knocking on doors, and I've knocked on about 2,400 and had probably 1,500 conversations, that because I was there, people somehow thought I could help already. And I know remarkably little about politics in some ways. But I was able to help one man get connected to a local health center to get false teeth. And I've helped a couple of elderly people, two elderly couples, to get their $850 checks. They didn't know that they could apply if they didn't pay state tax. And I helped one farmer figure out where to settle an insurance issue that he was having. And I like doing that. I've moderated a church council for 28 years, 12-member church council, and those meetings can get contentious. And I like that. I like being able to help people find common ground. And that's what I'd like to be able to do in the legislature. There are a lot of things I'm not good at, but those things I'm good at.
Well, I guess I get 1 minute to shine.
You don't have to start it off with ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You don't have to do that.
That's not in my time, I hope.
No. And action. Go.
Okay. I'm running as independent purposely because I don't think that politics belong anywhere near the courtroom, not on charging decisions or sentencing recommendations. So I went out of my way to run independent for this reason. Probably the biggest issue is I want to be a hands-on DA. I want to try cases. I enjoy trying cases. I've been trying cases for 31 years. Our current district attorney does not try cases. He hasn't tried criminal cases in 8 years. He hasn't done jury trials ever. If you haven't got the trial experience, how are you going to mentor your assistants? You can look at what has happened to our two counties by looking at the statistics of convictions after trial. Hancock and Washington County are at the bottom of the barrel of obtaining convictions after trials. The assistants are floundering. They don't have any direction. They're not mentored. I intend to do that. We need to also redirect resources to Washington County. You guys have been shortchanged up here. We've only had one assistant DA up here in Machias for quite some time. I think the biggest endorsement I could have ever gotten during my career is being retained by all of law enforcement in the state to represent them in their darkest hour. When they're involved in shootings, that's not fun for them. They hired me to watch their backs. They could have hired any other attorney in the state. They chose me. These are the same people who now are backing me for this job. You might want to ask, why are they not backing the DA they've worked with for 8 years? Thanks.
I do realize that for some, party allegiance runs deep. No matter what is said or done, those people will always vote for their party straight down the ticket. That's one of the many beautiful things about our country. We all have our own opinions and the right to have them. I just hope that when you get in that voting booth, you cast your vote for the person that you think will best represent you. Elections have consequences, and this is our future that depends on it. I'm fully invested in the well-being of Washington County and our entire state. Whether I win or lose this election, this is my home. You are all my neighbors, and I will always do my best to be here for you. 1/3 of District 10 is unenrolled, and I am determined to be a new, refreshing, independent voice to represent Down East and Augusta. I only hope the voters of Washington County will have enough faith in me to give me that chance. This is ultimately a job interview, folks, and there are only 2 of us to choose from. But whether I win or lose, I'll always be here, and I'll never stop advocating for what's best for us all. Thank you very much, and I hope I've earned your vote on November 8th.
I have put a lot of time in Augusta, not as a legislator, probably over the last 20 years. I've taken on an independent governor, which I beat him in a federal court. I've taken on a Democrat governor and a Republican governor fighting for local control. I'm not afraid to stand up and fight. At one time in Augusta, some of the legislators actually thought I was a legislator because I was up there so much, trying to keep things, safe for down here and local say and control. One thing that I have enjoyed running as a candidate, I have met a tremendous amount of people. I've been to suppers, and I really enjoyed these small towns and getting out and seeing people. It's one thing just to know people right in your real close neighborhood, but this District 10 goes way to Princeton and Alexander and Crawford. I mean, it's quite a large district. But I too will say November 8th, I would appreciate your vote. And I have nothing against this young girl that's running against me. I think she's a very fine girl. So, thank you.
I also want to start off by thanking all of you for coming, giving us an opportunity to show you what we stand for and what our beliefs are, where we differ. 2 years ago, our state government was shutting down businesses arbitrarily, really, I think, without any real science behind it. And we haven't fully recovered from that yet. I think that we need to take steps in state government that will remove blockades in the path for small business to revitalize. All we need to do is enable Maine people, and they got the work ethic, they got the drive. I know because building a business, I didn't have an 8 to 5 job. I had an 8 till it was done job. So that's what it takes in any business, and that's what it takes in Augusta. Sometimes you're talking to people long after you've left the chambers, and you're building coalitions among legislatures to get things passed that the people need. So I'd really appreciate your support on November 8th, and again, I thank you all for coming.
3 years ago, I retired, and I thought, maybe I should run for state legislature. And then I thought, no, I better figure out how to be retired first. So I coached 3 sports at Hamden Academy, and I've got some time. So I thought, this time I'm going to run for state legislature. So I called my friend Ed Crockett, who's a legislator in Portland, and he said, yes, go for it. I used to work with Ed. And then I called Louis Lucchini, who's I've known for a long time too, and he said, yes, you'd be really good at that. So with that endorsement, I thought, yeah, I can do that. And knocking on the doors of 4,000 people in the district has really taught me what I need to know to be able to do this job. So I'm looking forward to winning, and I'm looking forward to joining some of the people that I hold in very high regard, the people that are current legislators. They do a great job, and another voice, if it's mine, I would be honored to do it. Thank you.
So again, I'm Tiffany Strout. I'm running for District 11, and I am passionate about where I live and the people that live here. I could have moved away as well to do work when I worked at the Jackson Laboratory, but I lived here and traveled every day. I wanted to make sure my son was in a school that was small and same teachers that I had. I enjoy the small life living. And I just think that it's important to show people everywhere else that there's more to this area than what we're represented as in the media or the news. I was lucky to have Governor LePage come down and go campaigning with me. There was a group that helped get that done. And I hope that shows that even though I'm not there, I do want to show the people how important it is to be in this area and all the hard work that we do. And I hope that when you go to vote that you will see my name and you will put the check mark by that.
Well, there again, I'll say that because Tiffany and I are running against each other, I hope you put the check mark by mine. But having said that, I can only tell you what my background is and where my depth of experience may lie. I used to be on the Sunrise County Economic Council. I was on there for 2 separate terms and chairman of the council for 2 separate times. I was also a member of the Maine Better Transportation Association. And between that and my experience at the Port of Eastport, I often came in contact with the DOT, and I've given testimony before the Transportation Committee. I do have an understanding of Augusta from all that and how things work there, and I would very much appreciate it when you go to cast your ballot, if you're doing it on election day or earlier, if you would put the check by mine. Incidentally, my name is really Roland, so it's going to appear as Roland on the ballot. It's not going to be Skip. And with that, I've probably used about all my time, Dave. So, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end. And I would like to offer these closing remarks. As county commissioners, we don't term out. Unfortunately, nobody wants our job. So we hang around for a while. I've been a commissioner now for about 20 years. John Crowley, I think, has been there since the courthouse was built. I don't know. It's been a while. Vinton Cassidy's been around a long time and in politics for a long time. We don't see a lot of turnover in our jobs, but we have seen a lot of turnover in the legislative delegation over the years because they term out. And I would ask this of each and every one of you. No matter who wins, which party, it doesn't matter. One standing thing has always been true, is that the Washington County delegation always remembered where it came from first, not what party it represented first. So we would ask that of you. And to the men and women who are maybe obviously here tonight, and Lupe is going to put that out there, the responsibility is not theirs, it is yours. We have to go out there and make sure that we let our voices be heard, and the direction we take as a state, as a county, is completely up to us. We can sometimes forget that we own the business. We just hire them to run it for us. But we are the owners. So I encourage each and every one of you that can be there on November 8th to vote. If you can't, make sure you pick up an absentee ballot and get it done beforehand. If you want to growl about the play calling, you better be willing to go in and play a few downs, as they say. So make sure you get out and vote. Lupe, I would ask, where would we be able to find this when it's finished? We're going to have it up on YouTube. We'll see that any legislator that would like to get a copy of it to post to their initial pages, their candidate pages, we'll see that you get that. And again, on behalf of the county commissioners, I want to thank Senator Burns for his work, Betsy for all the behind-the-scenes work. I know both the Republican and Democratic parties of the county work together on this, which I think speaks volumes. I want to thank Rose Gaffney for the opportunity to be here tonight. And I would, although we've kind of held it all night, I think this whole group deserves a round of applause for, if nothing else, being willing to get down there to that silly little city they call Augusta, ladies and gentlemen. So have a round of applause.